I think all of us will be aware that fashion trends have changed incredibly over the years, over decades, over centuries. We don't dress like our forefathers dressed. We dress suitably and appropriately for where we live and the culture in which we live today. So fashion has made her statement, and we live within the confines of that today. We also dress appropriately as to the climate that we live in. So, for example, if you were to live as a resident of Nuuk, which is the capital city of Greenland, they have an average February temperature there of 8 degrees centigrade. So you wouldn't dress the same as someone living on the Gold Coast or living in Sydney and going to Bondi Beach or living in Brisbane or whatever. You wouldn't dress like that. Rather, we dress appropriately for the climate and the setting and the cultural setting that we find ourselves in. So fashion makes her statement in both locations, if you want there. Imagine if you lived in Dalol in Ethiopia, which is considered to be the hottest city in the world, with temperatures averaging 106.1 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, that's incredible. That's an average temperature. So you're not going to dress like you would in Greenland and Nuuk. You're not going to dress like you would somewhere else. You're going to dress appropriately for where you live. See, the clothing that we wear must always be suitable for the location in which we live. And as Christians, our eternal home is not here on this earth. Our eternal home is heaven. And so we're residents here on earth who are heading to heaven, if you want. As we're here on earth, we have to dress appropriately. We have to wear suitable clothing for our lifestyles of today. But the Bible advises us as to how we should dress as citizens of heaven who are living on earth, if you want. What we should wear as we reside here and minister and serve and function for God's glory here on earth. In Romans chapter 13, verse 14, Paul tells the believer to put on the Lord Jesus Christ and don't make plans to gratify the desires of the flesh. Don't live in this fleshly mannerism. Rather, put on the Lord Jesus Christ. But what exactly does Paul mean by that little phrase, put on the Lord Jesus Christ? He's actually recommending that we as Christians put on spiritual clothing, if you want. He's saying that we should wear clothing that's fit for the battle that we find ourselves in as warriors in this cause of living for Jesus Christ. So if we glance back in our text to verse 12 of that text, we discover that Paul tells us to remove from our beings the deeds of darkness. As Christians, he says you're still going to be troubled by that old lifestyle, but remove that old lifestyle, those deeds of darkness, that lifestyle that you lived in before you came to know Jesus Christ. Remove that from your being. Put that away. Don't live there anymore. That's your old clothing. That's your old lifestyle. And in place of that, put on the armor of light, he says. That is the clothing befitting and belonging to a Christian, which causes us to sport a very different fashion statement from the world that we live in. So we don't embrace that old lifestyle. We put on this new lifestyle, and this new lifestyle is very different from how the world lives and very different from how we used to live. So as Christians, we have actually nailed to the cross of Jesus Christ all of our old ways, and we have begun then to attire ourselves in God's grace and God's forgiveness. And that's what we practice. We forgive one another. We forgive people. We live graciously. We live in a way that God has shown grace to us in Jesus Christ as a free gift. And so we put that on our beings and we express that to the world around us. Our new garments, our new Christian fashion, it serves as a statement to the world around us. As the world looks at us, they recognize us to belong to Jesus Christ. They recognize us to being different to them. They recognize us as being disciples of Jesus Christ. And all because through salvation in Jesus Christ, we have put off that old lifestyle, that old fashion, and we've put on the Lord Jesus Christ, our new fashion, our spiritual clothing. And so the world sees Jesus Christ living through us. What an amazing privilege. So as you go about life today, whether it be in the office, whether it be at school, whether it be at the shops, whatever, whenever, and wherever, remember your fashion statement, spiritually speaking, says much about who you really are. You're a child of the King. You're a disciple of the Lord Jesus Christ. You're a believer in God's eternal truth. You're a Christian. So let the world see that you're a Christian simply by how you live your life. And Paul says that's putting on the Lord Jesus Christ. Be blessed and have a great day as you practice that. Thanks for listening.